Are you ready to pamper yourself with the best natural care products? Check out Somar Group. Their range of natural soaps, candles, body butters, and more will help you nurture and embrace your well-being. Plus, for a limited time, get 10% off your purchase with code TheDJWorld. Shop now at somargroup.com and start feeling like the best version of yourself.
Yes. You're rocking with your boy DJ Rooster.
Hey.
Yeah, we gotta fix this camera real quick. All right, hold on. We got you, man.
You got to get my good side.
There you go.
My profile.
You good. My camera's all in my face. It's all good, though. Yes.
Yeah, you got like a booger hanging right there. No, I'm kidding. What is that white substance on your nose, Rooster?
Yeah,
No,
my
kidding.
mic was off. Thank God. All right. Yes, it's your boy DJ Rooster right here on the DJ World, where we interview DJs and let them have their platform.
Yes.
Today I have a legend in the house, DJ Impact.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Yes, man. You've been, listen, well, I ain't gonna do that to you, but
I'm a legend in my own mind.
listen, now you a legend, period. You know that. But let's get right into it, man. Seriously, how long have you been a DJ, man?
A long time, bro. I mean, to put years on it, I don't like
Yeah.
to put my age out there, but let's just say I come from an era of cassette tapes, turntables, wax. You know, where you actually had to spend a day in the record shop going through tunes and picking out your tunes. And, you know, there was no such thing as downloads. There was no such thing as streaming. There was no such thing as sync buttons. And I come from that era.
All right. See, but that's I don't like doing that to people because it's the same thing. Don't tell people my age and whatnot.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
don't-
just no. Go ahead. What do you think?
I work in the entertainment industry. I
Yeah.
do a lot of mobile gigs. I do a lot of mobile gigs for a lot of young kids.
Yeah.
And it's better that I don't put my age out there.
Okay,
I
right.
try to find the more immature I act, the younger I look and the younger I feel. So there's no reason to really put my age out there. That people that know me, they know how far back I go.
Yeah.
I'm always willing to share my knowledge with anybody that wants to know, but there's no reason to put an age number on that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I just like I said, I asked so I can understand where a DJ is coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll tell you this. I came from a time where it wasn't cool to be a DJ.
Okay. All right.
It was more of a nerd thing. It was more of guys who we would listen to music and we would hear more than what everybody else was hearing. So while everybody was just dancing and singing along, we were hearing like, well, how can I change this? And how can I mix this with something else? And how can I make this work with that? And again, back in those days, we didn't have computers. We didn't have editing software. We had cassette players. We used to take two cassette players, put them next to each other, play one, record, splice, play one, record, splice. And that's how we made our remixes back then. And, you know, in the beginning when we had cheap equipment, you're talking about a big woo. Anybody who's old school knows cassettes. You know, once you opened up a cassette sometimes, it was like woo, but you were still like, yo, check out my mix.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
No, you know, because when I got into DJing, like professionally, I got into DJing in like 2009.
Okay.
All right. So around that time, which I even hate to admit it, but you know, I was working with a virtual DJ and everything like that. Which don't get me wrong.
See, okay, but let me ask you a question.
Go
Now.
ahead.
Why are you embarrassed to say virtual DJ?
I'm embarrassed to say virtual DJ because industry standard. That's really what it comes down to. Because if you
to me, that's an industry bias.
well, okay. Here's my thing.
Mhm.
If you go to mainly a club, you know, and I know in clubs you can use track and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like DJs that were messing with Serato got the
Yeah.
first licks.
Of
You know what I'm
course.
saying?
Yeah.
So if you look at promoters or owners and they go, "Oh, well, you're working with virtual DJ," it's like, we'll call you. You know what I'm saying? And that's it's that stigma.
Again,
That's
you're
really
right.
what it
No,
comes
you're
down to.
and you're 100% right. But that's a stigma that grew out of the whole Serato Bad Boy Club, and it's almost like a bully thing. Anybody who knows equipment and knows these programs inside out, you got to appreciate virtual DJ.
Yeah.
Virtual DJ is a rock solid program, dude.
You know,
And it's-
it is. You're right because
You know?
that's how I learned waveforms and BPMs, and it got me ready for Serato. So when I got to Serato, I already knew. You know what I'm saying?
And everybody out there now, oh, stems. Oh, I got to get stems. I challenge you to try the stems on virtual DJ and compare them to Serato. I put that challenge out to everybody. I don't judge anybody for what they use. It's not what you use. I sound like a porn star. It's not what you have. It's what you do with it.
Oh my God.
But I'm telling you.
I wish I had the beep 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 beep.
I might not hit the bottom. Let me stop. I don't judge anybody for what they use. I don't judge them for what controller they're using. I don't judge them for what program they're using. You do what you do, man.
Yeah.
If the dance floor is packed, you're doing your job.
I agree. I agree. I've always said that if you used to have one person, just tapping their foot and they look like they're having fun, you did your job.
Exactly.
Flat out. Because people can have attitudes on the dance floor.
The problem is, again, I come from an era where it wasn't popular to be a DJ. Mm-hmm. So when we were doing it, they called us nerds. They called us, whack. Like they were out playing games and stuff like that. We were in the lab practicing. It wasn't like the cool thing. Now it's everybody wants to be a superstar DJ without putting in the work, without putting in the respect to the craft.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get on a soapbox about that. But I'm just saying, like, the problem is you have too many people out there passing judgment, and you have too many people out there worrying about what the next man is thinking. Don't worry about what the next man is telling you. Worry about who's paying you. Worry about who's hiring you for these events. Satisfy them. Satisfy the person who's putting money in your pocket. Satisfy the person whose name is on that check.
Yeah.
Don't worry about other DJs. If they're real DJs and they're your real friends, they'll support you and they'll help you be where you have to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Again, with the Serato is this big club and everybody's like, I got to be in Serato. And, you had all these other programs that come out and I've seen DJs kill it. I've seen DJs do amazing things with other programs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But again, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're using that program. Are they dancing? Are they out there? Is the party rocking? What do you care what I'm using?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's just, oh man, because like during the time that I came up, right?
Yeah.
It was.
So you came up.
It was like in the middle area. It's kind of
but you came in through a time where like the new equipment was coming out, the new technology was coming out.
You still had to do the old school stuff.
You still had to do the old school stuff, and you also had a lot of the old school DJs hating. Yeah. And a lot of the old school DJs, they really I guess you could say they peed in the pool.
Yeah.
Because they were just being so resistant and so hard-headed. And to this day, you still see it on Facebook. Again, that's what I'm saying. Don't pay attention to what these DJs are saying. Listen, I've been doing this a long time. I have a lot of friends that are DJs. I have old school friends. I have new school friends. I have guys who are just starting to DJ. I give them all respect equally. I respect their opinion. I listen to them. And I keep my mouth shut because there's no point in arguing with these guys. Some of these guys do not want to hear anything. They just want to keep fighting the future. Yeah. You can't. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, you're right. You can't. Eventually, just like cell phones. Like it's like the person saying, "I'm going to still rock the original iPhone."
It's like
it's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. It's
not going to work.
Look, it's like a cowboy saying, "Oh, I'm not driving a truck. I'm keeping it real. I'm riding horses." Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We'll see you next week.
The technology is there. Embrace it. The fact that you're an old school DJ, the fact that you know how we used to do things, should make your craft that much better.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Compared to these other kids who are doing shortcuts and doing whatever they're doing. And again, I don't knock them, but I definitely encourage them to know their history. Know your history, know your craft, look at the options. Definitely Google search some of these old school DJs because amazingly enough, a lot of the stuff that you're doing with this new technology and these buttons, they were doing without it. The things that some of these old school DJs used to do with 3 or 4 turntables is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now the fact that you can do it easily by just hitting a cue button or setting a point and setting a loop and everything like that. I mean, yes, it does dilute it, but at the same time, appreciate what they did, and it'll just make you better.
It does. You know what I mean? It's funny you say that. And I'm going to say this and we'll get on to the next question. It's so funny you say that because I always watch Jazzy Jeff.
Yes.
Now,
Perfect example.
I watch just how he embraces Serato, how he embraces. Don't get me wrong, he still has his techniques and whatnot, but he has to control this. But he doesn't just knock away from like, oh my God, I'm using a laptop. No, like you said, he embraces it, and you know what? He still sounds as nasty as ever. Like this.
Well, he's the perfect example of when Serato first came out. Like I said, a lot of the old school true hard DJs would say, real DJs don't use Serato. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, here I had Jazzy Jeff using Serato. Yeah. I'm like, it don't get no more real than that.
No, it does not.
But again, like I said, I'm old school. So I remember when those same DJs were saying, what is this with CDs? Real DJs don't use CDs. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? And then those same guys were the ones hitting me up a few years later, like, yo, can you burn some CDs for me? Yo, can I borrow your CDs? Can I dump your CDs? And then it was like, a computer? You're DJing on a computer? That's not real DJing. You're not a real DJ.
You got me laughing at the voice.
Because honestly, listen, bro, I can read all your posts on Facebook. That's how you sound. You know what I mean? If you're tuning in right now, you know. I'm not going to say no names, but you know that's you, and that's how you sound. That's not a real DJ.
Oh, man.
How dare you use a computer? And those same guys a few years later, like, yo, can you make me some folders? Can I download this?
What
Can I
happened to
borrow
our real
that?
DJ, son?
No. Again, it's not what you're using, it's what you're doing with it. You know what I
So-
mean? At the end of the day, we're DJs. We're not paid to pump our fists in the air. We're not paid to have 1 million followers on Instagram. We're not paid to make YouTube videos or whatever videos they're putting out, TikTok videos. You're paid to make people dance.
Yep.
That's it. Again, I'm a little off on that because you do have turntablists. Now that's a whole different set of
Oh,
rules.
so that's pure skill. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not even-
Turntablism is a whole different set of rules. It's a whole different animal.
Mhm.
You're not there to make people dance. You're there to show people that you're a better DJ than them. So
Yeah.
now it becomes a different set
it's a
of rules.
battle. It's yeah, I know it. I
So
agree with
now
that.
you can question what the next man is doing. Now you can pick and choose what software you're using, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. You know what I mean? So if you're a turntablist and you say, I'm rocking virtual DJ and I don't care what you say, fine. Get on virtual DJ and let me see you kill it.
Yeah.
That's a different set of rules. So, I mean, I don't even want to get into turntablism because I have nothing but respect for turntablists. The people, you watch them on TikTok, you have no idea how many hours that person put into that. And they mastered their craft.
Mhm.
And I've seen DJs with the new technology,
there's
with
so
the
many-
cue buttons, with everything like that, and they still crush it.
There's so many examples I can bring up.
Yeah,
But
I could bring up. You know who I will shout out though? I
Go,
will
shout
shout
him
out
out.
my brother DJ 45. DJ 45 was the original DJ for EPMD back in the days.
Okay.
DJ for EPMD, DJ for Biggie Smalls, DJ for Lil Wayne. The list can go on. I can go on and on with the list. We're talking a real deal certified DJ. I dare anybody to tell me that this man is not a real DJ. This man is the one who told me there's nothing wrong with using cue buttons. There's nothing wrong with using loops. This is the man who teaches me every day new tricks about. He goes into Serato, dissects it, and he knows Serato back and forth to where he'll show you things on Serato that you never knew it could do.
see, that's
Okay.
that's the thing of beauty right
Yeah,
there.
so
That
are
really
you
is.
going to tell me that he's not a real DJ because he's using technology? This is the perfect example of somebody from the old school with the knowledge, taking what's available and applying it and making it something better than what it was.
Yeah.
Not the guy, oh, why are you doing that? I never used the sync button when I DJed for EPMD. You don't want to hear that.
No, you don't.
You know what I mean?
it's
You
just-
can't fight the future. Number one, if you're old school, stop fighting the future. If you're new school, stop being that little brat saying like, "Oh, well, you're old. I don't want to hear what you have to say."
See,
It's both
see.
sides.
You know what it is though. I don't want to say that.
Say it.
I don't wanna say
it. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. Let's do this.
Okay, so my thing is this. I remember being that guy. And I'm not saying kid because I didn't get into really interesting DJ until I was like 17, 18. But I remember being in certain clubs, looking up in the DJ booth and seeing the skill and, just saying like, yo, those guys have something special. I want that,
Mm-hmm.
So to have that love and then hear someone saying, oh, I'm better than that. Like, shut up.
Exactly.
Like, they just shut up because like, if that I should just take your turntable at that point. Like that's how I really feel about it. Because you know what, everyone has a different skill set.
Mhm.
This is the whole reason why I created the show because it's a different skill set, different genre, and there's certain things that
different mindsets.
exactly. And there's certain things that DJs do that you didn't see that, but now that you heard it, it's like, oh wow, you know what? It opened my mind up. Now I can mess this with that. Like.
Mhm.
But this is a great start to the show. I just want that out. But the show's really more about you, man.
It's about me, but it's about the DJ culture.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
yes, it is.
and I would rather. I mean, with me, there's not really much to tell. I'm a guy. I've been getting, like I said, I've been DJing for a long time. With me, it's a way of life. I do this full time. This is how I pay my bills. So I take the craft very seriously.
Yeah.
And I try to incorporate myself in every aspect of DJing. I do clubs, I do parties, I do concerts, I do strip clubs. I try to cover every aspect.
So
you know what I mean?
my thing's like, but how did you get into it? You know what I'm saying? Because like I had my moment when I was looking, like I still remember it was
How
it
did
was
I just get into DJing?
well. My thing is this: when I got into DJing, how I feel like I was
Mm-hmm.
in this is gonna put my age out there now. I was inside Bianco's.
Okay.
I love that. I'm mad what they did to her now, but I
Yeah,
love,
yeah,
yeah. But I remember being in the middle of the dance floor, looking up at the booth, and just knowing. And I feel like every DJ, no matter what skill level you're at, had that moment. So
Yeah.
when was your moment?
Again, I came from a moment where people weren't DJing, so it's different. And
So
we're talking
that-
about the foundation. We're talking about this is when we were just hanging out at our houses, and well, like I said, while everybody else was outside
Yeah.
playing ball and playing sports, we were experimenting with records and finding out. We didn't have mixers.
No.
We had our parents' stereo systems. We were pissing off our parents, and all the old school DJs know what I'm talking about because we all did the same thing.
That helps.
Pissing
that
off
setup.
pops, pissing off pops because we were taking pops' stereo system out of the living room, putting it in our bedroom, taking all his records and scratching them up and messing them up. All of us went through it. We all got yelled at. We all looked so forward to finally being able to get a job and buy our own records and buy our own turntables. And even like we were talking about technology, like
Yeah.
virtual DJ versus Serato. It's the same concept because back then, everybody wanted techniques. Everybody wanted the curved arm. Everybody wanted the high-tech turntable. You couldn't afford that back then. So you got a straight arm.
Some
with
people
a
still can't
freaking-
afford it now.
a belt,
Shoot.
you had a belt drive turntable, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, your turntable's ghetto. Look at you, you got a cheap ass turntable." But I tell you what, if I learn to rock out on that table, I'm gonna destroy you when I get on that 12. All right, and that's where a lot of these real DJs back in the days, they started off, they could did on anything. You know what I mean? Give me a pot and a pan, and I'll bang on it and get people dancing. You know what I'm saying? It was that
It's
mentality.
that beat. It's that 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, it wasn't about competing with anybody else. It was competing with yourself. You know what I mean? It was trying to make yourself better.
So I'm saying, like you're going and discovering music now. You and your boys and whatnot, right? While you're understanding this and going through it, what are the influences that you want you to get better? You know
Well,
what I'm
I'm
saying?
glad you brought that up because you talk about inspirations. My inspirations are the people that I've met. I've met a lot of great DJs in my years, and I've seen people grow from, like you said, like somebody in the club making fun of them to headlining and doing Vegas shows and stuff like that. So those are my inspirations, you know what I mean? And those are the people that I look forward to. And I know a lot of famous DJs that I saw from the come up. Like I said, DJ 45. We went to high school together. I watched this man go from, just a regular DJ doing block parties and battles in high schools to doing world tours with Lil Wayne and Biggie Smalls. DJ Razor and Guido. These are guys that I knew from around the way doing mobile gigs. And they grew up to become Long Island legends. Jason Ojeda. He's the one who taught me mobile. You know what I mean? That's a funny story in itself because when I got into mobile, I was like this hardcore house party battle DJ, and I thought I was the greatest thing in the world. And then they started telling me about this concept of doing mobile parties, and I was like, that sounds corny. And I was like, that's corny. And they said, okay, well, go to this party with this guy who was Jason Ojeda.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there with my jaw open. Now, this man is crushing it on CDs. He's crushing it with cassettes. He's crushing it with 45s. Back then, like now, everybody's DJing with 45s. Back in the days, you didn't DJ with 45s. And I was watching this man, and I was just like, I don't know anything. I am a small fish in a big pond.
Isn't that like a beautiful moment, though, where like you have to humble yourself and understand that?
Exactly. But I've had a lot of moments like that. That's one
But that only
thing.
gets you better, though. That only makes you better.
But the magic word you just hit was humble. I have to stay humble. I know so many great DJs that will beat me down in a second. You know what I mean? In any genre. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm a house DJ. I'm killing it in a house DJ. Razor will step in and destroy me. Jason will step in and destroy me. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm a hip-hop DJ? Yeah, okay, I'm a hip-hop DJ. My boy DJ Smooth and Alley will step in and destroy. My boy DJ Danger will step in. I get to any genre of music you give, I will give you a great DJ.
Yeah.
That I could never be arrogant in front of them because it's just like, you don't go there.
You don't. It's I don't even want to call it an unwritten rule. It's just respect-wise. Like, why would you do that? Like, that's like walking up to,
There's no reason for it. There's no reason for you to ever say I'm the best.
No.
Or I'm better than.
That's like,
because it's not something you should say. It's something that should be said.
Yeah, no, I say that's like walking up to a Picasso painting and going, I can do better.
I can paint better than
like,
that.
Like,
Yeah.
shut up.
But meanwhile, that painting is up there and your paintbrush is hanging out in the living room. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Don't talk about it. Show it. Be about it. You know, like I said, let others. You want to convince me that you're a better DJ than so and so? Let somebody else come and tell me that. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear it from your mouth. I want to see what you can do. The only thing I want to hear from you is your beats. I want to hear what you're playing. I want to hear what you're doing. I don't want to hear anything out your mouth about how you're better than so-and-so. Or that you're rocking this equipment, or that real DJ shouldn't use that equipment.
It's funny you bring up equipment because that's my next question to you. So, what was your first first gear? You know what I'm saying? Like the very first year when you like, I'm gonna start doing parties now.
See, again, I keep on like sound like a broken record, but I keep coming back to the old school. There was not a lot of stuff available.
Well, but
so
I'm
anybody
saying, like when,
a major, I'm sorry, not to keep
no,
cutting you off,
go
but
ahead.
like a major accomplishment in our lives as DJs was when the mixers came out.
Yeah.
And we all had to have that Gemini.
Okay.
Gemini with the wood frame. I don't remember the exact number.
Nah, yeah.
But it was a Gemini mixer. Every DJ wanted it. You had to have it. It had one button for an echo, and it was just like the most horrible echo you ever heard in your life. But you just had to have that mixer.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's, my first, and I've said it many a times, but I'll say it again. My first piece of real equipment I think it was called a DJing. I think that's what it was. It was a small thing. And my boy MoFire, it was shout out to him. He allowed me to DJ with him, which I had no business DJing with him, and he legit had to put it right on the middle of his mixer, put a remote on top of it, and that's how it held it in place. And
That's dope.
It was virtual DJ.
I didn't know you and MoFire went back like that. That's
yeah,
dope.
now we go
That's
back.
dope.
So it was just,
Wait, so MoFire, I don't want to put his business out there, but MoFire was rocking virtual DJ?
No. He was rocking Serato and everything. That's what I go back to, where it's like, he's a DJ out there that he's been out there, you know what I'm saying? And hear me like, oh, can I DJ? He could be like, go back to the bar. And it's just really nothing I could have said. But no, he allowed me to do that. And that was my first piece of equipment. So I'm always curious about what was your first gig? Because when you have that first gig, that first piece of equipment, you're so amped to do it. And
my first official gig, like I said, I did a lot of house parties.
Yeah.
My first official gig was a high school prom.
Okay.
And it wasn't a prom. It was middle school, so it's not really a prom. But whatever the big dance was for the middle school, it was that. And it was kind of a nightmare because I really didn't know how to hook up real equipment. Because like I said, I was using my dad's stereo and I was learning my craft on that. And then I had a friend who lent me some real speakers and a real amp. And back then, we didn't have self-powered anything. Everything was amped and everything was all wired. And
which I think sounds better, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, so it was kind of a disaster to the fact where it took me forever to get those speakers hooked up right. But once we got it going, everybody was dancing, everybody was having a great time. The teachers gave us props. They invited us back. And to me, that was like a highlight.
Yeah.
That was like, okay, so you can make money off of this. You can have a future with this, you know?
So here's another thing I feel like all DJs go through. That first bad gig, that first bomb. Where like
that would be it. That
really?
was the same thing. My first was one of my worst because, like I said, I couldn't freaking figure out how to hook up those speakers.
All right.
It was driving me nuts.
But
And,
the reason I bring that up is because as DJs, we got to think on the fly, and I feel bad for you now because you had to do all that in one shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you got to go, okay, what did I do wrong? How can I make this different so I doesn't happen again? You know what I'm saying?
For every era of DJing, there's a set of disasters that you can experience. For the wax, there was broken records, skipping records, broken needles, warped records. You know what I mean?
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God.
So these are things that you learn. For CDs, obviously, CDs, you couldn't get the CD scratched. You couldn't. You had to make sure the heads were clean. You had to make sure the CD player was up to date. You couldn't. Nothing worse than a CD skipping, and it was just that was the worst. Now computers, you get a whole new set of nightmares. Now you got computers crashing. You got, that's one of the reasons why I'll never use an external hard drive because you get an external hard drive, the wire can crap out.
So funny about that. I honestly learned that the hard way, and now I try my very damnness to make sure that I have like a 4 or 5 terabyte hard drive in my laptop because, like you just said, it can die out on you. For the longest time, I didn't even want to touch controllers. I had 237s and whatever mix I had in between, And my thing was like, God forbid one of those go out, I can always go off the mixer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love controllers and whatnot, but if the controller goes out, you're done.
Well, like I said,
you're done. It's over.
You take any potential disaster, and I could pretty much guarantee I've experienced it at least once.
Yeah.
So I always try to prepare. But as much as you prepare, get ready because something else is going to happen. The bottom line is always be ready for what can go wrong. So nowadays, like I said, back in the days, we used to worry about warped records. So what did you do? You made sure you had 2 of each record. From the CDs days, you knew the CD might skip. Make sure you had the CDs clean. Make sure you had an extra CD just in case. If you saw even like a little nick on a CD, you had to clean it. The computer age have, like you said, an extra computer, an extra hard drive. So nowadays, guys, if you're out there DJing, again, I know a lot of guys do it. They use external hard drives. I don't recommend using external hard drives because there's just so many factors that can go wrong. But always have an extra one. If you can afford it, make sure you have an extra computer.
Yeah.
Just ripped and ready to go. With these controllers, you can hook up 2 computers to a controller, have them both hooked up, and just be ready to switch. You know what I mean? If for some reason your computer crashes, switch to the
That's
B
what,
input and go to the next computer.
Apple, they don't have it anymore. I don't know why they don't.
What?
But I think it was an airport. I think that's what it was. Where basically you would leave your computer next to it and would back everything up automatically. It was almost, it's like a time machine almost. It was like it was a physical one. Because God forbid if that ever
but you
happened.
don't want to do that on the fly. If you're in
No.
the middle
I'm
of the party,
saying when you're going home.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
The bottom line is, whatever disaster you're going through, you have to make sure nobody else realizes you're going through it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Nobody needs to know how bad it actually is.
So this it's funny you say because it goes into my other question is it's more of a two-parter. The one is a statement of question. People got to realize that anytime you go to any event, the DJ is the heart of that party.
Yes.
You know, so like you said, you have to just understand things and be prepared on the fly. What are some of the experience mobile or club that you had in that? You know what I'm saying?
Good experiences or
Well,
bad experiences?
just in general, because of the mobile life and club life are 2 different lives completely. You know
They
what I'm
are
saying?
both, and they both have a different set of nightmares.
Yeah.
Mobile DJing, I mean, you're always dealing with different clients, and different clients have different expectations, and they
Yeah.
have different music choices and stuff like that. The big problem I'm seeing now with mobile parties is things like Spotify and Apple Music, which is allowing people to build these large libraries of their favorite songs. And yeah, it might be a song you like, but
It's
that
not what they
doesn't
like.
necessarily mean it's going to transition into a song that people are going to dance to. You know what I mean? There's a big difference between what you're listening to when you're driving in your car or when you're working out at the gym, what you have in your headphones, and what's going to get a room full of people on the dance floor dancing.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of people who are like, okay, well, send me some requests. And they'll send you their whole Spotify list, which is like sometimes over 100 songs. Yeah, you got to admit, 100 songs is almost 4 hours worth of music. You figure any party, you're dancing only about 3 hours.
Yeah.
So do you really expect the DJ to play your thing, or do you expect him to do what he's trained to do, which is, like I keep emphasizing, keep the people dancing?
So do you think they should give request lists, or they should just let you do you?
I think they should definitely give a request list to give the DJ an idea of what kind of music they would like and what direction they would like to go. But when you give a DJ over 100 songs, you're tying his arms behind his back. You know, and I blame a lot of the company owners for this, because the company owners who are accepting these request lists, they shouldn't be doing that, but they could be bothered. And then they'll tell the DJ, don't worry about it, just play what you think is going to work. But a lot of these clients don't see it that way. I've had clients specifically say, hey, only play what's on my list. You know what I mean? Okay, so why don't complain later when nobody's dancing?
I had the DJ champagne polka wedding. That's all they wanted to hear all night. Polka music.
Wow, but were they dancing?
If you call it that, but you know what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
but to your point, where it's like that's what they wanted, and as a DJ, that was my responsibility. So I provided.
Then you did your job.
Yeah.
You did your job. So you have to think. Another big problem, getting back to egos and attitudes. When you're doing mobile parties, are you really DJing for yourself, or are you DJing for your client?
I think that's the one thing that early on as a DJ, you have to understand that very quickly, because when you first get into DJing, you're thinking about songs that you and maybe your boys like.
Yeah.
And then when you get hit with that one party and they drop a song that you don't like, it's like, I'm not going to download that. I'm not
playing that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not playing that. No
and
way.
then you wonder why you're not getting any more gigs.
Exactly.
So like it's back to like we were saying before.
Yeah.
Humble yourself.
Humble yourself,
Understand that this
exactly.
party is not for
Understand.
you. You're making an experience for this person.
And again, like I said, it gets back to certain DJs who are artists. There are certain DJs I can understand. I respect your crap. I know what you're doing. And you only DJ certain type of music, and you only DJ a certain style, and there's songs that you would never touch. That's all great. If you have your following and you have your venue and that's what you're getting paid to do, by all means, go and do it.
Yeah.
But don't put yourself in a mobile DJ environment, because now you're taking your attitude out on the client. The client is paying you for a service. The client isn't paying you for your ego.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if a client wants to hear a song, play the song.
See, that's really the difference between mobile and club life.
Yeah,
Because
well, clubs too, though.
Well,
Clubs too.
What I'm saying is, like, in a club or bar,
Mhm.
and I really want to say a bar first because I don't think any DJ should just hop into a club. I think you need to experience the bar before you go to a club.
Yeah.
Because in a bar, you get the spots where you have to understand who your crowd is,
Exactly.
what they may like. So for the first 2 weeks or so, you're throwing darts at a dartboard. You're just trying, does this work? Does that work?
Yes.
And eventually, when
Yes.
you get to know people and everything like that, you're good to go. But
And as you put
You know
in
what
the
I'm saying?
years and you get the experience, you get to read a crowd a little bit faster.
yeah, I agree with that.
But now, when you're talking about a club experience, you have a little more freedom to be yourself,
Mhm.
obviously. But like you said, you still need to read the room. You can't be the greatest Latin DJ on Long Island and you're DJing at a country club.
No, it's not
You
going
know
to work.
what I mean? So you need to know where you're working and you need to know your crowd and you still need to read your crowd. And if you are that adamant about only playing your own music, only book gigs that are accepting that kind of thing. Don't be a house DJ and accept a gig at a bar that's open format
Yeah.
and then be mad when people are making all those requests. Now, getting back to requests, in a club environment, yeah, you don't have to accept as many requests, but I mean, you still want people to have a good time. You know what I mean? No, I'm not gonna play 10,000 Bad Bunny songs. I'm sorry, but you should play at least one or two here and
Yeah,
there.
no, I agree.
You know,
I agree.
Again, don't let your ego ruin your future or your paycheck. Because a club owner could give a damn about how much you know about any kind of music. A club owner only wants to see people on the dance floor and people at the bar.
The sad thing is, and I listen, I love clubs. I honestly, I've gone to clubs many times, sat in the VIP and just listened to music. But clubs come and go. You
Yeah.
know, and it's really sad. I think Long Island needs more clubs. I think
Well-
that we messed it up a lot,
Mhm.
but I think that we need it. And then
The thing is with that, if you look behind the scenes, yeah, clubs come and go, but it's usually the same people involved.
yeah, no,
You know what I mean? So you really want to be careful of who you burn bridges with.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
agree
It's a
with that.
very small industry in Long Island. There's a lot of places, like you said, opening and closing all the time. But if you look behind the scenes, it's usually the same people pulling the strings.
Yeah, no, I believe that,
know?
man. So I'm not trying to end things or anything like that. We ain't at that point yet. But I do want to know, with someone at your legendary status, you know what I'm saying? No, you listen. Pat yourself for the shoulder. You know you're there, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I like I said, I don't look at myself that way. I look at myself. I'm a hard
Well,
worker.
I'm saying, but you look at someone that's like 18, 19 years old, and they see you for the first time, and then you drop, gems of knowledge.
Yes.
You're a legend, man.
I appreciate
you
that.
are
Thank you.
because you have the answers.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I've always tried to be. I've always tried to be helpful to people, who want to get into the industry and want to
Yeah.
learn. Because, like you said, you're that kid in the middle of the dance floor listening, and you hear the DJ, and you're like, "Well, I want to do that. I want to be that guy."
Yeah.
And like I said, I've been doing this a long time, so I know a few guys who have heard me DJ or did a party with me or something, and they got inspired
Yeah.
and they became great DJs.
Yeah, like I said, because of how the DJ community is, when I was that kid
Yes.
on the dance floor, when I got a chance to play that same club,
Mhm.
and then I crushed it, I did damn near teared up. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just
It's
like
a great feeling.
it was
It's
just
a
like,
great
wow,
feeling.
man, like that's crazy.
When you know you got them there and you know they're doing what you want them to do and
Yeah.
going on the journey with you, it's a great feeling.
It is, and I'm
Yeah.
glad you said journey because that's what it is.
When
When you're DJ, you're taking everyone through a journey. You gotta
Yes.
slowly up and down. Like don't.
Yes. Me personally, I take every party personally.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, and I know, and everybody tells me this all the time, you can't expect the same from every crowd. You can't expect every crowd to dance. Sometimes you'll get people who are resistant, especially in the mobile world.
Mhm.
You get people who just aren't there to dance. They're just there to do whatever you want to do. I take it personally, and I put in that extra effort to try to get them dancing. And, most of the time I do. Sometimes I don't. But when I don't, it always leaves me feeling like, oh, what could I have done? What should I have done?
But you know what I mean? It means you give a damn. That's all it really comes
Yeah,
down to, man.
yeah, I definitely care.
I've seen. See, I hate doing this to people, but I see DJs sit there and just like not care.
Well,
And, you know what I'm saying?
look,
Like,
you know
it's-
what? We can keep it real because we don't have to say any names. And I know people are listening and they know who
I
we're
know.
talking
That's why
about.
I want to be. I want to be.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and they know who we're talking about. But there's no reason to put their names out there.
Yeah.
And if they're listening, maybe they'll listen. But a lot of these guys I've known for years, so I know they're not going to listen to anything I'm telling them. But I know a lot of great DJs, and I know a lot of great DJs who have really bad attitudes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's sad because a lot of people could really learn from them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think as a DJ community, which I always keep saying, everyone has so much knowledge. Share it. make everyone better. You know,
I try to be there for every DJ.
I've been saying this almost every episode, and I'll say it again. My main goal is to have a festival of DJs. Wherever we have it, everyone come out. Let's rock out. What California can do it.
Believe
you know
it or not, there's a lot of people out there doing it. There's people out there that do it. They have venues that have get-togethers and people throw down.
I'm telling you, Long Island would turn out and it'd be insane. It'd be insane. It'd be a fun day.
And you know what? We talk a lot about the negative, and it's not that many. There's a few bad apples out there. In general, my experience, most of the DJs I meet on Long Island are great.
No,
they're
I
cool
agree.
People. They're awesome people.
I agree. Like I said, I've been doing this profession since 2009, and then you know I've walked away for a year or two just because I had to get myself straight, and then. The community, they just welcomed me back in, gave me hugs and everything. I was like, it was crazy. I was like, wow. Like
we could spend a whole hour just naming names. There's so many great DJs. It really is.
I know. Which my goal is to try to have everyone on here. I really mean that.
I think this platform is awesome for that, and I will help you with that. I will get everybody else in.
I appreciate it.
You know what I mean? Because I think this is great, and I think it's great for people to hear what's on other DJs' minds. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I do want to ask you though. Your career is not over yet. Way far from it.
Hopefully.
Nah, you're good. What other goals you have, man? Like, do you want to play the Super Bowl?
Listen,
do you want, you know what I'm saying?
Here's the funny story. The funny story is, like I said, I was an old school DJ. I started in the DJing. I made the house parties and all that. Got into the mobile. I walked away from DJing. Yeah. I wanted to be an artist. Yeah. So I was a singer for a while. I had some freestyle demos. I was doing performances, and I was on that circuit. It really didn't work out. And then a good friend of mine was managing a bowling alley. Bayshore Bowl, rest in peace.
Oh yeah.
You know what? You look so young that I forget you're old school, bro. That's what we always do this. You know, whenever we're talking, I'm like, how does he know what I'm talking about?
First of all, I grew up in Bayshore. I graduated from Bayshore.
There you go.
So I remember when the roller rig and the bowl was right next to each other.
That was all the dude. That was it.
Yep. Spot.
Yep. Then I can tell you so many stories about that roller rig.
Oh, anyway, that's why it's like. But keep going.
So he brought me back to that with rock and bowl. So I was doing the rock and bowl for about maybe 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And that's when I started getting the love for it again back, and then it started going back, and then like I said, I met a few people who brought me into the mobile industry. The reason I got into the mobile industry, ironically enough, was I was also a rapper. Yeah. So I was rapping, and the mobile companies were having a big competition at a place called Holly Rock over in Islip.
Okay.
And one of my friends, who was one of my mentors, DJ Spice, was the DJ for one of the DJ companies. I'm not going to put company names out there, but he brought me to their rehearsal, and they had a kid rapping, and the kid was basically just plagiarizing New Kids on the Block raps.
He didn't even try.
I was just watching. I was like, is he really he's just rhyming what Donnie would rap, and what is he doing right now? So I told my boy, I told my boy that worked at another DJ company. I was like, yo, I was at rehearsal with such and such last night, and they got a kid getting ready to rap, but he was doing Donnie Wahlberg raps. And he was like, really, really? Oh, let me talk to my owner. And he talked to the guy named Russell, who was out in Queens, and it was Hollywood DJs. And I told him, back then, like I said, I was hustling I was check to check back then, so I was a hustler. Whatever I had to do for money. I mean, I'm still that way now, but I told him, I said, tell your boy, pay me $50, and I'll rap on your show. So he brought me in. I ended up going out to Queens, rehearsing with them and everything, and I actually entered the mobile industry as a rapper. So they brought me in for that competition, and DJ Razor was the DJ. So that's when I met Razor. Yeah. And, like I say, he went on to be the legend that he is. But that's how I got into the mobile industry. And then I was like, this is weird. And how this whole thing works out.
It's true, man. Like, as you're saying that story, I was like, I probably was sitting there in the roller rink skating around, and you were in the booth, and
and,
all these years later.
and when you're in that moment, you never think.
No, you don't.
You think. You look back. It's easy to look back and be like, oh, this was that moment in life. This was that moment. But at that time, I never thought that that's what I'd be doing for the rest of my life.
Some things, in some gigs, you just have to absorb it.
Yeah.
Take the time, and I know it's a lot easier. I know it's hard to say that, but
that's the way to say it. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moments, and then move on to the next. Don't overthink it.
So, even what you saying that, man? You have any advice or any words of wisdom that you want to give the younger DJ
I
generation?
think we covered it all. Stay positive. Stay
Yeah.
positive. Your only competition is yourself. Stop worrying about what the other DJ is doing. Don't worry about what the other DJ is doing, and stop being negative.
Yeah.
All right. Some of my biggest breaks in life have come from other DJs. You know what I mean? And people hear me DJing and they're like, "Oh my God, where'd you get this music? Where'd you get this music?" I got the music from other DJs. You know what I'm saying? I'm that guy. You need something, you got it. I'll
Yeah.
put it in a Dropbox for you the next day. But at the same time, when I need something, brother, hook me
You
up.
better, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You heard me all show long. All show long, I've been saying how I know great DJs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they know that I'm the first one to hit them up. Be like, yeah, you give me that song, please. Give me that folder. I need that folder. You know? So stay positive. Make as many connections, as many friends as you can. And don't worry about what the next man is doing. Worry about what you're doing. And a big piece of advice from me would be, don't expect people to do it for you. Don't think just because you like met me at a party or we talked on the phone that I'm gonna get you on the radio.
No.
Don't think because you met such and such and you guys got along that he's gonna put you on at his gig. And you have to make your own moves. And when you work for it, other people will see you working for it, they'll acknowledge it, and they'll help you on your journey.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only advice I could put out there.
I hear that, man. Well,
Don't be that guy. I guess if there's one thing you heard from DJ Impact today is don't be that guy.
see, this is a very, very wise show.
I
Once
appreciate
this
that.
drops on YouTube, the views are going up. But give everyone your socials, man. How can they connect with you and everything like
you
that?
can find me at DJ Impact NY.
All
Pretty much
around?
on everything. Yeah, on Mixcloud, Instagram, Facebook. I got a TikTok, but I never use it. You gotta have to teach me how to work TikTok. I don't know how to do any of
Okay,
this
fine,
stuff.
I'll do it.
I'm like the grandpa in the room with the VCR when it comes to some of these apps.
I just want to say real quick, thank you, Impact, for coming on the DJ show, man. Blessing the set
You
and
too,
everything
brother.
like that, man.
I think what you're doing here is great, and like I said, we're gonna get a lot of great DJs on here for you.
Yes, man. Thank you.
No
And
doubt.
once again, DJ World's full of the DJ community. Let's get everyone on here. Let's get you featured out there,
Yes.
right, man?
Speaking of that, make sure you guys stick around because my brother John G is getting ready to set it
That's
off.
going to be special. All right.
All right?
All right, guys. Peace.
And he's gonna do it in Spanish.
Are you ready to pamper yourself with the best natural care products? Check out Somar Group. Their range of natural soaps, candles, body butters, and more will help you nurture and embrace your well-being. Plus, for a limited time, get 10% off your purchase with code The DJ World. Shop now at somargroup.com and start feeling like the best version of yourself.